Welcome to the deep dive. We've got a fascinating stack of source material in front of us today. Your notes, ideas, and even some draft website copy. It all seems to be pointing towards, well, the emergence of a brand new movement.
That's right. This material lays out the vision for something the drafts themselves call audacious. It's definitely a clear attempt to chart a new path in civic and social engagement.
And our mission in this deep dive is to really unpack what's being proposed in these documents. We're going to explore the core concepts, the proposed identity, the strategic thinking behind it all, helping you get a clear picture of the key ideas presented here. Let's kick things off right at the start. So the central promise, the kind of headline position in these drafts, it's not red, not blue, just true. It feels like that's where the whole vision really starts, right?
It really is the anchor phrase, isn't it? And like you said, the material points out this is intended to signal the launch of an audacious new movement.
Yeah.
The note suggests it's fueled by three core elements: love, faith, and AI.
Love, faith, and AI. That's quite a combination.
It is.
And the stated purpose in these documents is finding new independence, using AI-powered solutions for everyday problems.
Exactly. It's aiming for what they actually term alternative independence. The material defines this as being, powered by people, guided by heart, and strengthened specifically through AI education.
Okay, alternative independence. Now, one of the first crucial distinctions these documents make is around that very word, independence. The notes spend a bit of time clarifying the difference between, say, being a political independent voter and embracing independence as more of a foundational principle, maybe an ideal.
That's a really important nuance the source material emphasizes. It argues quite strongly, actually, that independence is a much stronger, more visionary word for what this movement is trying to achieve.
So why independence over just independent? What's the reasoning in the material?
Well, the drafts explain that independence is broader. It's deeper than just, checking a box on a voter registration form. It's presented as evoking these big ideals like self-determination, the birth of new paradigms, even drawing parallels to historical declarations of independence.
Okay, right. That makes sense. Avoiding confusion, too, I guess. Using independent could easily lump this movement in with existing political labels like centrists or maybe swing voters.
Exactly right. And the material positions independence more as a call to action. It's not just a status. It's framed as an invitation for people to rise up, reclaim their agency, and actively co-create a better system.
And I noticed the notes also highlight that independence is seen as spiritually and emotionally resonant, connecting it to freedom of thought, economic empowerment, even spiritual sovereignty, which seem pretty central to that message of love and faith fueling it all.
Yeah, it really ties all those core elements together under that single powerful word, according to these documents anyway.
Okay, so building on that core concept of independence, these documents then get down to the practical stuff, like naming the movement. The recommended name presented is Our AI Party.
Yeah, and this is where you see the strategic thinking really play out in the drafts. The reasoning behind Our AI Party as the preferred name is actually quite detailed.
So what's the breakdown? Why those specific words according to the material?
Well, the notes explain that R is intended to immediately create a sense of belonging, of unity, emphasizing that it's people-powered, personal.
Right, making it feel like it belongs to the community they hope to build.
Precisely. And then the AI, that's specifically designed to carry a double meaning. It obviously refers to artificial intelligence, which is a key tool for the movement, but it's also meant to stand for alternative independence. So it links the technology directly back to the core philosophical goal.
Ah, okay, clever. So it's both the method and the mission captured in those two letters. And party, how is that framed? Because that word comes with baggage.
It does. The drafts suggest party is used to ground the movement in a civic purpose, indicating its intention to engage with the public sphere. But the notes are also clear that it's meant to be flexible, implying something more dynamic than traditional politics, like a movement or even a gathering, maybe a celebration of this new path.
And the tagline presented with this name seems to reinforce that multi-layered vision. A new declaration, powered by AI, guided by heart.
That tagline really does distill the essence they seem to be going for. The documents also propose a distinct visual language and tone, too.
I saw that. Sky blue for freedom, white for clarity, gold for illumination. Very aspirational colors.
Yes, and the suggested symbol is a torch drawing on the imagery of the Statue of Liberty, which is interesting. But importantly, it's merged with a neural network symbol, blending that historical ideal of liberty with, the futuristic tool of AI.
It's a powerful visual mashup the drafts propose. And the desired tone. What are they aiming for there?
Described as warm, visionary, heart-centered, and fearless. It all ties back to that word we encountered early on, audacious. The material keeps returning to that word to capture the bold, daring nature of this whole initiative, explicitly linking it to showing what one person can achieve with these sort of superpowers of love, faith, and AI.
Okay, so we have the core idea, the definition of independence, the proposed identity. How does this movement, as described in the documents, actually intend to operate? The sources outline 4 core mission pillars.
Right. These pillars are the action points, basically. The first one is AI for independent thought. This pillar is focused on educating and equipping people to move beyond the polarization you often find in news and social media, using AI-powered media literacy and critical thinking tools.
So using AI not just for answers, but for better questioning and analysis of information itself, is that the idea?
Exactly. Then the second pillar is love and faith as leadership values. This aims to consciously reintroduce kindness, empathy, spiritual integrity, and moral courage into civic and political conversations. The material states it pretty clearly. AI is the tool, but love is the motive.
Setting the ethical and emotional foundation makes sense. What's number 3?
The third pillar is new political narratives. This involves using storytelling and AI media literacy to help communities not just understand problems, but actively co-create possibilities for the future.
Okay, shifting from just analyzing the past to actually building the future through narrative. Interesting.
And the fourth pillar is a digital campus for civic reformation. The notes propose creating an AI super campus, offering workshops, story courses, digital town halls, basically a hub for learning and engagement based on the movement's principles.
Bringing all those tools and values together in an online space. Got it. The source material also gets very specific about the movement's digital presence, really focusing in on domain names.
Yet this section of the drafts is quite strategic. They identify ouraiparty.com as the primary sort of flagship domain.
And how is that positioned? What's the thinking there?
It's described as the people's platform, intended for community building, civic engagement, sharing the core manifesto, and targeting a broader, more accessible audience. The thinking seems to be that the Our and the .com extension make it feel welcoming and familiar.
And they even had some tagline ideas just for that site, like reclaiming independence, together with AI and heart.
Yes, reinforcing that collective value-driven approach.
Yeah.
Then there's AIparty.ai, identified as an alternative or maybe a supporting domain.
Okay, what's the role of that one?
That one's described as the movement's AI core. It's intended for the more tech-forward content, so the media literacy tools, AI-powered applications, the AI supercampus itself, even things like meditations. It seems to be targeting visionaries and early adopters, leveraging that sleeker, tech-focused AI extension.
So splitting the digital presence based on audience and content focus, according to these drafts.
Precisely. The materials also mention other potential supporting domains, things like alternativeindependence.ai, specifically for the main declaration or manifesto, and thinkforyourself.ai, which seems tied to the education and awakening aspects of the movement.
Right, and the proposed homepage copy for ouraiparty.com that was detailed in the drafts, it really pulls all these pieces together, reiterating the core, not red, not blue, just true. Headline, the Why We Exist mission statement, linking to the declaration, highlighting the AI Supercampus, listing beliefs like love is stronger than division and freedom begins with thinking for yourself, featuring the founder, Mike Hayes, and including calls to action to join or connect.
Yeah, it's a pretty comprehensive plan laid out in these documents for launching and defining this new entity.
So looking back at everything in this deep dive into the source material, the notes, the drafts, the ideas you shared, it all points to the foundation for what's described as an audacious movement called Our AI Party. It aims to blend technology, specifically AI, with core human values like love and faith, to cultivate independent thinking, craft new civic narratives, and essentially offer a different path forward than, the traditional political structures.
And you can really see the relevance of exploring ideas like these in our current environment, can't you? With the sheer volume of information we all navigate and the political polarization that often feels, well, overwhelming. Considering initiatives that propose using tools like AI specifically to empower independent thought and which actively seek alternative pathways, it offers a really valuable perspective, I think, on how individuals and communities might look to navigate these complex issues differently.
It does. And thinking about this movement's stated goal of using AI for alternative independence and encouraging people to think for yourself in order to co-create a future, it really makes you wonder, what could a civic or social structure actually look like that genuinely empowers individuals and communities? Not just through technology, but by centering specific values like love and faith and fundamentally moving beyond the established systems they describe as just not red, not blue. It's definitely a provocative question raised directly by the vision laid out in this source material.